Matt Walsh wheels in an elderly guy in a wheelchair, his supposed Uncle Frank, straight into the middle of a diversity, equity, and inclusion workshop that he's leading under his fake anti-racism guru persona. The room's full of earnest trainees, all primed to do the work. Walsh lays it out. Uncle Frank cracked a racist joke at Thanksgiving 20 years ago, probably something dumb about fried chicken. Now it's confrontation time. He urges the group to unload on the old man, yelling about how his words cause generational harm, white privilege, and all the rest that you've already heard 1,000 times. And Frank sits there, laughing, while the DEI attendants demand apologies and reparation. The class eats it up, turning it into a full-blown therapy session gone wrong. But here's the kicker. It's all staged for his 2024 mockumentary, Am I a Racist? Walsh isn't just mocking. He's forcing these DEI disciples to live out their own extreme logic, and it crumbles into pure absurdity on camera. The scene's hilarious, uncomfortable, and spot on, showing how this stuff turns people into parody versions of themselves. And that's Walsh at his best, not debating, but demonstrating the insanity with comedy that sticks like glue.
You don't need to be caught up. We're gonna be silent.
Is it because I said I had 17 black friends? It might have been 15. It depends on how you count them.
Can you please leave?
I would like it if you left.
I'm trying to learn. I'm on this journey.
Come with me.
Well,
Thank you.
I didn't consent to be touched.
I'm not offering to touch you. I'm offering to walk you out. Will you walk with me and I'll answer your questions?
Okay, I'll admit it. My name's not Steven. Maybe you already knew that. My name is Matt Walsh.
We know.
Yeah, I'll walk.
transmit on track 2. What's your message?
I did everything I could to fit in. I opened up. I was raw and emotional. I told them about my black friends.
Matt Walsh kicked off his life in 1986 in Baltimore County, Maryland, smack in the middle of a shifting America where traditional values were starting to clash with the rising tide of cultural chaos. Raised in a no-nonsense Catholic family that didn't chase every fad, he's got a front row seat to the growing disconnect between common sense and the emerging political correctness wave. No handouts for this guy. He jumped into the workforce young, grinding through jobs that built his no-filter worldview. By 2010 at 24, he was co-hosting the Matt and Crank program on WZBH 93.5 in Georgetown, Delaware. Raw, unpolished radio. Him and Crank unloading on this week's BS, connecting with listeners who are sick of sanitized takes. Radio's cutthroat, though, and after a year, he shifted to 92.7 in Rehoboth Beach, but that didn't stick either. Undeterred, Walsh moved to Lexington, Kentucky in 2012, scoring a gig at News Radio. This is where his edge sharpened. He launched a Matt Walsh blog, firing off blunt conservative pieces on politics, culture, and the creeping insanity of overzealous correctness, like how inclusivity was starting to mean shutting down dissent. His show gained traction, but late 2013 saw it canned. Rather than hunt another radio spot, he poured everything into his writing. The blog grew into a hub for folks craving honest, unapologetic commentary, spotlighting absurdities like mandatory sensitivity trainings that felt more like re-education camps. By 2014, he'd linked with Blaze Media for broader exposure and even lobbed articles at Huffington Post, proving he could spar in hostile turf. The turning point hit in October 2017 when he joined the Daily Wire. Ben Shapiro and Jeremy Boring's rising conservative fortress challenging the mainstream media echo chamber. Walsh meshed seamlessly. In April 2018, The Matt Walsh Show podcast launched on YouTube. Delivering daily hour-long breakdowns of the day's craziness with that signature dry sarcasm. It wasn't empty rage. It was smart, witty dissections that had you thinking, damn, he's nailing it. What sets Walsh apart in this packed conservative arena? Yeah, he's solid on policy breakdowns and culture clashes, but his real superpower is comedy and satire. He doesn't waste time in endless arguments with the left. He embodies their ideas, amps them to the extreme, and lets the ridiculousness expose itself. It's like watching a mirror shatter at their own reflections. Check out his 2022 kids' books, Johnny the Walrus. On the surface, it's a fun tale about a boy pretending to be animals, dinosaur today, night tomorrow, and then Johnny tapes spoons to his face and flops around like a walrus. Boom, the online crowd piles on his mom. Make him a walrus for real. It spirals into a documentary suggesting limb chops for authenticity. Ring any bells? It's a brutal takedown of gender ideology, showing how kids' play gets warped into irreversible choices. Walsh didn't lecture, he told a story and made it hilarious. Tucker Carlson hailed it as brilliant, a non-preachy mockery. It actually topped Amazon's LGBT charts before they yanked it, proving his point about ideological control. He amps it up with stunts that feel like Borat meets culture war. His 2024 mockumentary, Am I a Racist?, is loaded with them. Beyond the Uncle Frank bit, there's the Robin DiAngelo interview, where he gets the white fragility author to fork over reparation cash on the spot to his black producer. Or the support group, where he has white folks confessing sins in a circle jerk of guilt, pushing it so far that they start chaining themselves up symbolically. Real experts spill the beans on camera, admitting it's a guilt-for-profit scam with zero fixes. Laugh out loud funny, but savage, by overplaying their game. Walsh reveals how hollow and hypocritical DEI really is. You're not debating, you're cackling at the claps. And he's not slowing down. In early 2025, Daily Wire dropped Identity Crisis, another documentary where Walsh dives into transgenderism with the same satirical bite. He interviews detransitioners, poses as a confused parent at clinics, and exposes how quick some doctors are to push hormones on kids without real checks. One scene has him in fake therapy sessions, role-playing extreme affirmations that highlight the danger of rushing transitions. It's raw, pulling at heartstrings while roasting the industry's blind spots. Critics call it divisive, but fans ate it up. Millions of views in weeks, proving his formula works even on touchy topics. This satirical style, it's a game changer for cutting through debate fatigue. Facts and logic are cool, but humor slips under the radar, spotlighting lefty weaknesses without a textbook. When ideas sound noble but flop in practice, Walsh lives them out to the max, letting absurdity do the talking. It lingers. You remember the laugh you had over the chant that the left had.
That's all they do. I'm telling you, these white women.
But that's it. It's I'm so fat, I'm so stupid, I'm blah blah blah.
Sorry.
White people pointing fingers at each other is not helpful.
You know, I've been on this journey for so long, and just to see you guys at the table having this conversation has been really enlightening for me.
And it clicks big with younger guys, those in their 20s and 30s, like many of you tuning in. We grew up on South Park, skewering everything, The Onion, slicing hypocrisy, and Walsh channels that. Edgy, shareable clips that go viral on X or TikTok. His show's millions strong because it's funny first and preachy never. In a scroll and forget era that pulls in dudes who'd skip a policy deep dive but repost a savage roast, like his recent takes on viral stories like Shiloh Hendrix's blow up from May 2025. This woman gets filmed calling a black kid a name in a park, and then she puts up a fundraiser and breaks in over $500,000. The NAACP pushes charges and the family's outraged, but Walsh hops in hoping that she hits $1 million. Why? It exposes the victimhood grift, turning progressive narratives on their head. With his sarcasm, he makes it a broader jab at how outrage turns into cash, meme-worthy stuff that spreads fast. His evolving takes keep it real too, like in January of 2025, when he straight up said the US should cut financial aid to Israel. No more billions while we ignore our own borders. Basically, it's a shift from the Daily Wire's hardline Zionism. He's not afraid to buck the party line for what he sees as America First priorities. This resonates with isolationist vibes bubbling up among younger conservatives who question endless cash flows overseas. Or his November 2024 tweet after the election. Now that it's over, can we say Project 2025 is the agenda? LOL. It blew up, with lefties freaking out and even some MAGA folks calling him out for trolling too hard. Walsh clarified that it was satire, but it highlights his knack for stirring the pot while exposing media hysteria over conservative plans. But that youth appeal highlights a tightrope for the Daily Wire. Their staunch pro-Israel vibe, Shapiro's been vocal forever, framing the Gaza conflict post-2023 as straight good versus evil works for their core base, yet polls show under 40s cooling on foreign entanglements, wondering why we're funding wars abroad when domestic policy at home's a mess. Not hate, but just fix our stuff first. The Wire's Zionism could push away the demographic that digs Walsh's domestic-focused satire, the same guys that are sharing his clips. And why is this a big deal? The Daily Wire's no small fry anymore. They're the conservative media empire. Podcasts, movies, books, even kids' stuff. Millions tune in for their alternative takes to legacy media's spin. And that clout means responsibility. They can't let infighting gut the movement. The Candace Owens blow-up in early 2024 showed the risks. She drew young, diverse crowds with her edge, but her Gaza critiques clashed with Shapiro, escalating into anti-Semitism accusations. She liked dodgy tweets, and he called her out. And by March, they parted ways, and it was ugly. Fans divided, and she was tweeting free at last. But they lost a bridge to non-traditional conservatives. Fast forward to 2025, and the drama's ramped up. Jeremy Boring stepped down as co-CEO in March amid reports of financial squeezes. Layoffs hit with whispers of cost-cutting after years of possible losses. Streaming service Bentkey is struggling, and movies like Am I a Racist are doing good, but they're not the blockbuster hits that pull in enough to cover the losses. Rumors flew, credit card processors rejecting them over hate speech claims, forcing pivots to crypto or other payment systems. And then Brett Cooper's exit sparked fire. The young commentator who hosted the comment sections torched the organization in a March podcast with Sean Ryan. She praised Walsh and Knowles for keeping it real, but slammed the higher-ups as grifters chasing trends for bucks, citing internal politics and creative stifling as the reason she bounced. By the way, if you want to check out that episode I did or other episodes, I do have the Daily Wire playlist in the description below. Back to the video. Fans split again, some calling Walsh a cuck for staying, accusing The Wire of being an Israel-first shell company, and others defended him as the non-neocon voice slowly shifting isolationist. These fractures underscore the ecosystem's fragility. Daily Wire is massive, but letting Zionism or internal beefs become a litmus test risks ditching the next generation. Adding the financial headings. Reports in April 2025 of them burning cash on big productions without matching revenue leads to canceled projects and staff cuts. It's not collapse level yet, but it's a wake-up call. Walsh's way points forward. Humor uniting on home front fights like gender chaos, DEI hustles, border fails, stuff we all rally on without foreign policy splits. In 2025's chaos, he's still delivering, from hyping Hendrix's flip to dropping Identity Crisis that roasts the trans industry's absurdities with fresh interviews and undercover bits.
You're not a scientist. You're not a gender studies major.
No,
How do you know that you're a man?
I guess because I got a dick.
That's movement building, relatable, entertaining, and non-divisive. Bottom line, Matt Walsh delivers what the Daily Wire needs. That killer mix of brains and belly laughs. From Delaware radio hustles to Nashville pod dominance, he's the guy winning culture scraps with wit. His satire shreds lefty flaws in sticky ways, hooking younger dudes craving real over rote. As The Wire navigates 2025's bumps, layoffs, departures, cash crunches, and Boring's, they gotta amplify voices like his to patch divides and solidify the base. Unity wins, and nothing unites like wheeling in an uncle for a DEI roast, or getting lefties so worked up that they're about to punish themselves. If you enjoyed this content, go ahead and check out my content library in the description, and be sure to subscribe. I've got plenty more where this came from.